Now listening to The Joint Committee.
Welcome to another session of the Joint Committee Sessions. I am one of your co-hosts, Lupino, along with Mr. Bond 420, East Coast of Damn, and special guest fresh out of the West Coast, Mendo Dope Boys. What up, man?
What up, guys?
What up, y'all? How you guys doing?
Good, man. This is, we were trying to get you guys, interview you guys for like coming up almost like 2 years.
That today too, or like I can't believe you guys have been doing it for almost 2 years now.
I don't know how
Over 2 years.
Yeah, how the hell we missed out getting on fucking episodes already. We've been slacking out here.
Yeah, man. It's been, when you guys
everything else.
Coast, you guys are real busy trying to catch up to you guys. But during those the Boston Freedom Rally weekend, like everybody is busy, so everybody's being pulled in a million one directions and shit though. So, it just ended up being about busy schedules and timing. Ultimately, nothing crazy.
Yep.
Yep, it all works out when it's supposed to.
So let's get this big story out of the way with how Bond and you guys got hooked up. Let's hear that introduction.
Oh Lord. Oh man. The Bond introduction. That was fucking when
Yeah, how to do that?
I was like, what year was it, Bond?
What were we saying? The 2014?
Maybe 14?
Might have been 13 or 14 at the High Times Cup.
I think it was maybe 14 something, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, because those emails you sent me were July 3rd, 2014.
Should it be? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember still when we were chilling up at the TJA booth, hanging with Subcool, slanging seeds and pushing out the merch and music on the side, hanging out with everyone. And I remember Bond came up and just, randomly, that was the first time.
I was like, you guys want to smoke?
I know Bond had stupid fire.
Yeah, Bond had fire right off the bat. So the first time we met Bond, he was fucking had the melter smelter and the fire stuff, and he was just super cool ass dude. I remember he offered to help us get some stuff set up. I think, man, you even ran to the store and grabbed something during the cup, like.
Yeah, you needed a extension cord for the stereo and the speaker.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
I ran down the street to Home Depot to grab it. It was fun getting out, but it wasn't fun getting back in.
Yeah, it's always a pain in the ass, even those big cups.
Yeah, that's how I became a veteran, was learning how to get in it. It was that time. I was like, I know what I'm doing now.
Right. Yeah, I think that was the very beginning of it, and man, it seemed like we just instantly clicked. It was like we already had been hanging out for a while. The vibes were just strong, and we instantly just started sessioning and just kept in touch ever since then. And then started, down the road, starting to work on collaborations together was off the hook.
Yeah, it's been a crazy 6 years. All kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, been a lot. Things are moving
Some
really fast.
personal stuff, some fucking other crazy stuff.
Yeah, got that third place from Third Gen right there. Took that podium away from him that year.
That 2016 was super dope going into the Emerald Cup with Mr. Bond. We got Police Monkey, Fresh Pro, Solomon Sun.
No freeze dryer, no cold room, no filter.
We were thugging it big time.
Under the cobweb.
Nice. Dirty crystal cave.
Yeah, that's some crazy times.
Those are fun times. I think so. After the High Times, I think Sarah might have got a hold of you, or she was trying to do like a birthday, whatever, and then she was like, "I can't do it. I need your help." So we all collaborated, got you guys down here, did a little small show, a little birthday party. Everybody hung out, and then it just went from there. You were like, "Yeah, come out, make some hash." I was like, "All right, let's do it."
Go over the country a bunch of times, met each other. It's crazy. Almost every year, either over there, you came over here. Well, last 2 years with legalization, I'm a real big pain in the ass. A lot of things changed, but we were on a roll for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
if all the legalization and shit didn't hit like it did right when it did, probably would have been able to do a little better. But
Yeah, there's crazy how fast things are moving. It's so hard to stay on top of it. It takes so much focus and so much. Now it takes so much like paperwork and collaborative efforts to make anything happen. You got to go through 3 people, and all 3 of those people have to be right. It's totally different.
well, you guys are doing it right. You guys doing your thing, staying legit, keeping true to yourself. That's all that matters.
Trying
That's
to.
why everybody gravitates towards that. You know what I mean? I've said it before.
Like, how can you, like, what are some real noticeable difference from about, let's say, I don't know, 5 years ago to now?
So let's say like 5 years ago, we could be growing, say, maybe not for us because we get in trouble if we're too big, but you could probably grow 25 plants. You could have Bond come over. You could make some hash. You could do all your work at home. You could get rid of it to clubs. Anyone that wanted to get it, there was no middleman you had to go through. You could do it yourself. Now you have to roll every single permit and pay every piece of the pie the whole way through. But just like, it's a full 180, really. Totally different situation.
Yeah, on top of that, have to have like really certified rooms that you're doing your processing in. For it used to just be set up stuff in the back, like shop, and we would get down. We'd bond with the food, get the temperatures right, just set up what we're trying to do and make it clean. But now you have to do it so legitly and so permitted and certified. It takes so much money to get things to that level. It takes it all.
Yep. And then besides that, even now, branding. Before, with a lot of stuff, you want your name on everything. I mean, that's going out everywhere. Now you're very serious about trying to keep the brand alive and trying to maximize everything you're doing without giving it up to some other person. So now it's like totally different with that too, where you're going through all of the packaging things now. Like everything has to be so point. It's all you. It's not someone else doing it for you unless you're giving up your brand and stuff. So it's been so hard for us to maintain and not sell it to like a Low Canada or Henry's kind of company that just buys it.
Damn. I mean, we always talk about, making sure you protect your brand, but when all this like paperwork really starts coming in and all these different slices of pie start getting spread all over the place, from the manufacturer to the retailer to this to that like you said before, it was all in-house and you can end up doing it all with one place, and now they really split it up and taxing everybody along the way.
Yep, they're just trying to get a bigger slice off of everything. They just want more and more and more and more. They don't care or think about the people or the patient. It's just about the money to them. So it makes it hard on us just trying to keep it real and just grow clean stuff and just get it to people.
What's the tax percentage now on recreational and also on medical?
I don't know exactly what it is right now. It went up in the beginning of the year, I'm pretty sure, for recreational. And then medical, I think they just went back on the laws for the good for the first time, and they have no tax on medical, I think, just now. We're still, for us to keep track with all the stuff, it's real hard too. We have a homie like in our group that does all the permitting and all the stuff, and he keeps track with everything that's going on and stuff. And like we have a lawyer now that does a lot of that stuff too. And we're trying not to fill our head with all kinds of those details with permitting and with the new law changes and everything, and just kind of listen to what the homie advises us and focus on the farming and the promotion and the branding and different things.
Yeah, it's almost worth it to pay somebody else to do that for you, so you don't have that shit flying around in your own brain while you're trying to concentrate on the branding and everything else. Growing the weed.
Exactly. There's certain things that we want to focus on that are our strong points. We don't like to be, doing those other crazy crunching things and figuring out this paperwork and doing this. Like, let us focus on this side. And that's what makes it cool to have a team of people designated to they do, they're good at it, and it makes the whole person really move good.
But I do believe like taxes were at 30 some percent last time, I think. It's 30 or something.
You said 33?
Yeah, something like that.
Jeez.
I,
Yeah. There's some, I ended up starting my career dealing with managing artists and then moved to the radio stations. So something I ended up picking up quickly was being able to like help artists between, what they have to do backstage. Somebody that has to be backstage while they're on stage handling business front end, somebody's backstage and like that. And it ends up being almost anything you do with you selling, little baby dolls, selling top shelf cannabis, selling, I don't know, lighters. It doesn't matter. The branding with all that ends up being on two sides. One dealing with like the design and like how everything looks, and then somebody making sure that it stays on that specific level. That quality control at the end. You don't let that untrimmed bud go out the door to the public. You make sure that shit, manicured.
exactly. Yeah. It's really hard these days. We can't even do that at the farm anymore. It used to be us doing the full final trim, the final weigh, everything else. Now it's running through the whole system where you just kind of gotta hope that they're doing a good job. Try to like do R&D and do like final testing on things as much as we can, and then shoot back things that are wrong or advice to fix different things if there is problems. But right now we've been doing real smooth, and we have a homie that's not a big distributor. He does his own stuff, does our stuff. It really has been working out for the best because so many of the big people are not paying farmers good. There's all kinds of problems having a big thing going. A lot of people getting laid off right now. So us staying small and being like how we are, very easy to has kept us kind of floating for the last 2 years.
So let's go. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, how is the rec market in California? Is it still strong, or how's the actual market holding up compared to what you hear about? Because we hear it's strong, but
yeah. Besides like this recently, like the last maybe week or two with the Corona stuff, it's been pretty strong. There's like it's hard to get into certain clubs, but there's people buying for sure. Like we've been going through a pretty good amount of beer. 800 pounds or something last the first season from the club. It was pretty nice amount actually when you break down how much hates of it and stuff. So it's even us with limited.
I missed all that. Did everybody catch all that? I'm like having problems hearing. Did you guys hear that too?
I heard some of it. Just repeat that, please.
I said it is going pretty strong. There's like besides the Corona thing, it's been growing pretty strong. There was actually like a lot of pickup after it was stocking up, but now it seems like it took a nice hit because of people with the money, so now it's going to be. But it's been pretty strong. Things are getting going. It's just hard to get into certain clubs.
Is it about like who you know and playing politics and that networking? I promised this guy, blah 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 blah.
There's a lot of that, yeah.
Yeah, just all kinds of stuff, paying for shelf space and just people with their big media fans, and makes it more harder for the small people.
Also,
Do you find that the music helps with the getting the branding out there and
It's funny. It doesn't help as much as we thought it would have helped. It does help for certain people, but there's certain people that really give a shit less on what we do. Like all these new people coming in with this new money and all this shit, they don't really give a fuck about a lot of NorCal people in general.
And it comes back to them. It's just all a money thing for them. They're not in it back happens or how we got to this. It's just you get something for cheap or just pop in and just put it out there.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's like it's going. It's been a hard call, but it is going, and we do see it building up every couple of months, different progress for sure on all different angles. So sure, that's it's cool that it's not going down. That's for sure.
Right.
So in Cali, is the cultivator allowed to go direct to the retailer, or do you have to have a distribution in the middle?
You have to have the distribution in the middle. Yep.
And are you restricted to like your local your area of the state? So you guys have to stay up north. So does that mean you can't find your stuff in LA?
No, we can actually get a license anywhere in the state. We had a garden this year. We did an acre garden in Paso Robles, kind of like down south of LA.
No, I meant finding your product.
The product.
Oh, no, the product can go anywhere.
Anywhere in Cali it can go to.
It's
Yeah.
That's good. At least Cali's a big state. Yeah, I mean,
It's a for sure state. I remember Subcool saying that when he moved from Oregon, he was just amazed on how California is such a buyer state. People that are always spending money and such a big state. LA in general is people that are going crazy down there all the time.
yeah.
So
I'll
if
tell
we
you-
were in Rhode Island, you know?
Yeah, right. That's why I'm like, fuck. I mean, it is. We only have 3 dispensaries, so I mean, it's all fucked either way you look at it.
Yeah, 3 to 6. Just in Ukiah, you know how small Ukiah is. There's like 6.
I know. That's what I'm saying, and I'm sure they all get used.
Oh,
You know
they
what I
do.
mean?
Some of them, not so much, but still, they're all good used.
Right, but if they pushed a certain product and they had the bomb, people would go. That's how it goes anywhere, really. But so yeah, let's get into a little bit of the whole growing thing and how you started with that, and it does suck. We're all pretty good friends. That Subcool thing kind of fucked me up pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Just because I had been talking to him, he'd call me probably once a week just to be like, hey, I see you doing pretty good things. I just want to let you know I'm proud of you. You know how he was.
Yep.
And then he would go off on his rants about everything. But yeah, that shit was pretty rough. R.I.P. Subcool.
Yeah.
So can we just end up holding like a moment of silence for Subcool? Because regardless if you loved him or you hated him, he was still a force that still made his impact on the game, and nobody could ever deny that. I think he owed at least a moment of silence and respect. Hating or loving him, still need that, you know? Yeah.
Tough
But
So yeah, I mean, how did you guys get into, briefly what you've been doing in the game, and now you're, way bigger. Obviously, you guys had most of us know you had a garden in 2013 or 12, 13.
13, yeah, the one that got raided.
Yeah.
is,
So I mean,
is
I
that
guess
the
take it from there.
So I guess let us somewhat set it up, right? Is this the case that ended up basically putting the question that you guys were too good of growers, and even though you were still within your amount allotted of plants, you guys were growing entirely way too much, and they restricted only you guys? That specific case you're talking about, or rated?
Yep, that's the one.
That is.
Yeah, that's the one.
You know, I hope that's in the history books. It really is. A Guinness Book of World Records. You got to put it in like, the only one to be like, because your shit was just too green. Your thumbs are fucking like, giant green and shit. Like, you went,
I just love the fact that you have it on video, on recording, and you got like that. When that motherfucker said it, when I first heard it, I was like, whoa. That's fucking awesome. I mean, I know it's a kick in the ass, but it's still like, well, fuck you then, haha. You know.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's cool. That was the first year that we ever filmed any of the garden stuff. Which was cool.
Yeah, that was like the very start of us really starting to show our gardens. Like over the years, doing stuff, you know, it had built up to that. Like that was definitely a big to at that point. And, once it got
So that was
rated,
your first public garden?
Yeah.
first public garden.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, it was fucked up for doing that.
Wow.
You know what, man? It's really a neighbor who called up and at the end of the day, you know, out in the, I guess it showed people how real we were about it, and like it got us on the document before we coming to really start to call Mendo Dope Boys and teaching people how to grow. Like, fuck this shit. Let's overgrow the plant. Let's teach everyone how to grow big plants, and let's just fucking go full throttle. And that was definitely the start that kicked the ball rolling big. 2013, and ever since then we've been documenting grow.
Oh.
Yo, can you hear him?
Yeah, I think.
No.
Can you hear him?
Did it cut out?
Yeah. Something happened.
Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear you. It's almost like if there's too many words in a sentence, a couple of them get cut out.
No, there's a lot of reverb. Yeah, something like that. Just slow it down. Yeah.
So yeah, 2013. That was when we really started documenting a lot of the garden stuff. That was when Sub School first. That was the first garden that we actually showed out in public, and I got everything started of doing the Mendo Dope vision and starting to want to teach the world about how to grow better, how to grow big plants that's clean, organic, and just like Sub would say, you know, we just wanted to overgrow the planet. You know, we've been pissed off at these authorities that tell us, you know, what we can't grow and this and that. You know, this is natural medicine. And we're just trying to teach the world about it. And Sub got us really starting to film stuff, document all of our gardens. And, you know, now, these last few years, we partnered up with Green Shock Farms and we started doing a whole new, like more of a TV style documentary called the Green Dope Project. And over the time of just learning more about filming and just wanting to show people behind the scenes of like a real garden, really how we grow and show exactly what we do on the ground level. So it's been super dope. Like our YouTube channel has got up to about 19 million views now. So it's super dope to see everything just growing.
Word.
I couldn't hear Bond.
Hold on a second. So I'm trying to figure out how to like improve you guys' sound at the same time while trying to open call, send open profile. Why did it unmute? Hold on a second, Bond. See full feed. Bond, unmute yourself.
It's probably just connection, to be honest.
No, all right. So I figured out how to improve their sound, right? Because there's a lot of reverb. When they're talking, we'll mute our microphones so their sound will improve, and we can end up hearing what they're saying when we ask them something specific.
Yeah.
For everybody listening, bear with us. We're, on the fly because Rona has got us, like figuring out how we do. And the cannabis community just works, and you will figure out how to get things rolling along the way. So I think that's how we'll end up like being able to, fix that sound problem right now.
Ooh.
So go into maybe a little bit of your music, and I mean, I can tell everybody you guys had you put out 12 CDs in 1 year,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
I've always said to you guys, that's a huge. I don't care if you're published or whatever, or recognized or whatever. If you have the ability to put out 12 CDs with multiple songs in 1 year, that's a fucking huge accomplishment in my eyes, where there's not a lot of people that can do that, and I've said that to you guys probably multiple times, but I just find it fascinating. That's what, just the nature of your good vibes, and obviously now that we've become friends, I know you guys a little more, but even off of not knowing you guys, that's what made me gravitate towards your music, the message that it had. Plus, it's Bleezy on the fucking beats. He's got that West Coast. I've always been in love with the West Coast vibey music, and I grew up with Too Short and E40 and that whole Bay Area thing. So when I started hearing you guys from Sub, I was like, oh snap, these kids are fucking. Then I started getting into it. I was like, oh fuck, they need to be. They're going somewhere for sure. And I started just personally seeing it, go up and up and up. It hasn't stopped. And you guys, I just give you guys all the credit. So, I mean, the floor is yours.
So how do you guys meet your drummer? How did you guys end up meeting?
We met him through Reek Daddy. We were kicking with Reek Daddy since like when was it with Reek Daddy? Like 2007, maybe.
Well, I think we first started kicking with Rick Dad in like 2000, late 2006.
Yeah, maybe 2005ish even. And Reek took us to. We did a lot of songs at Reek's house and stuff. And then Reek took us to the studio in Sacramento where Black was working as an engineer there. A lot of his equipment was there, and he was doing different songs for different people. And we met him, and Reek was telling him about us. That Black's funny how he always tells a story, because Reek would tell him about how his white boys had a bunch of turkey bags full of weed, and they were tripping Blap out. When Blap finally saw it, we pulled up to the studio all sacked up, and they were just tripping out. So Blap was instantly loving us, and he's been cool as fuck ever since. He tripped out on Daniel's voice. First time he went in the booth, he was like, man, his voice cuts through the mic so hard. He's like, there's only a few people whose voices have that frequency or whatever where it cuts through that hard. He's like, it's crazy. And he was just loving it ever since then, too. And so after a while working with Blap just on songs, beats, and lyrics and stuff, he always said he could drum. And then when we started wanting to build a band, we played with the band that we were playing with for a little bit. Didn't work out. We wanted to make our own band. And the first thing we went to was Blap, seeing if he can drum still. And he was down. And then he just got like super into it all of a sudden. Blap just like woke up a beast, and like he wanted to drum for a long time, but he's just been doing beats. And I think he's just been like so stoked to be playing the drums again. It's so different than working on the keyboard and doing mixing and mastering for people and stuff like that. So Blap's just been like super diehard, ready to go. It's been super fun working with him. We were able to get the badass custom kit for the band. Blap's been loving playing with that this last couple of years.
Yeah, Blap's been there since our very first album, the Welcome to the Jungle. That was our first nationwide release with NOYB Records. And Mr. Blap was on that album. He did one of the beats on it, and then ever since then we collabed and just stayed real good friends and built it up to the Mendo Dope band.
Blap said, Reek said, wait till you check out my white boys cut. Check out my white boys.
It's so funny because at that time, Reek probably only knew a couple white dudes, really, like, that he actually probably, especially that he kicked it with. Mr. Skrills was one of them for sure. And I don't know how long Skrills knew Reek, but Skrills was always cool with Reek. And there's a dude in the Crest named White Boy something. He's like the only white dude that lived in the Crest over there in Vallejo. And he's crazy as fuck, probably. That's funny.
Yep. And like besides like, you know, when we did those like the 12 albums, when we released that, after that year in 2012, like we rebuilt stuff up and we started our own music label on like iTunes and everything with Mendo Dope Music. And that's when that was almost like our turning point of when we really started getting into like deep cannabis culture music and really like representing like farming stuff and talking about some of the other stuff that we've been doing that we used to not talk about all the time. It was more just talking about smoking weed, and we weren't really supposed to talk about all the grow stuff or what we had. But then we started getting into it more, and like once again, you know, like Subcool, like we have so much thanks to the Cuddy, you know, because he introduced our music to the whole weed nerd nation and like really opened up a big door for us to reach a whole fan base that we were making music specifically for. And that really got the ball rolling, man. It took stuff off, and we had so much fun together recording with Subcool for like the TJ 10-pack of Mendo Dope, going up into K-Lou's studio, you know, to a real legendary Bay Area producer and getting to record this fresh original songs with representing the strains and having Subcool up in the studio. It was super cool to see like how that all evolved and like just took us deeper into, I feel like the type of music that we always were supposed to make, and we finally got there, and then we just stuck with it. And, you know, ever since then, it's been countless CDs back to back. Every year we're releasing something, and the last few years getting into the Live in the Garden projects, like that was when we just totally opened up our mind even more and like wanted to take the music out into the garden and really incorporate everything together as much as possible, and to record music outside in the garden and grow a plant into an actual vocal booth. Like it was so dope, and we had so much fun recording all 3 seasons of those albums, and I can't wait to see what's happening next, you know, moving into the future stuff. And like our next album that's about to release on 420, Roaches and Candy Wrappers, we recorded that album at our new home studio that we just built, and Lisa can tell you some more about it. It's super badass, and man, it's just been super cool creating this, and now being in our own setup that's so chill and able to record all this stuff right at our home, like comfortable, like we've always wanted to, and not just in a bedroom studio. It's been super dope.
R.I.P. Hash Room.
I was gonna say something about that too.
Hey, it's for the better. It's whatever. You know, I'm super psyched to, you know, see the development, see you guys go, because I had the pleasure of seeing at Mom's house.
Yeah.
I never got to see the back when it was, you know, the back shed there, but I mean that's pretty long time ago.
Okay.
So to see it all go, how it's been going, is pretty cool. So you know, take it.
Yeah, that poor hash room. You see that Pempro's got his built up and though, right?
Yeah.
He'd love to have you in there anytime.
I know. I think I commented on it. I might have put like a bunch of fire symbols, I think.
Yeah.
It looks super nice.
It does, yeah. He's super happy with it.
Yeah, he'll do probably way more, and it'll just be easier for him to work.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the cold, how it makes a difference. You know what I mean? It's just how it is. Plus, you got all the, you know, ice machine and freeze dryer and everything right there, you know.
Yeah, it's fun for him too. He's like in his cave, like pimped out. Bat cave.
Yeah, I just built one. It's not like too crazy, but the one that I'm working in Rhode Island right now. It's pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it. I mean, we don't have all kinds of crazy money to be buying crazy freeze dryers and ice makers and shit right now. So
Yeah.
it's missing a few things, but I'm working with it. And I'm like I've said before, I made hash in the middle of the summer in California in Subcool's driveway. You know, there's not too many people that could do that, I don't think.
In the tiniest little tent, sucked in there.
Before I pour that sucked in like a 3x3.
So let me ask you guys. So like I mentioned, I ended up being, I started my career dealing with, managing artists and then going to the radio station. So I have a whole bunch of wild stories and shows, fires, fights, wild stuff, people getting caught, missing, all kinds of stuff, and things just being not where they're supposed to be. Artists that you never thought would end up meeting backstage, or situations you're like that. Behind the music scenes for artists is a different story than what a lot of people tend to see. I ended up finding out. Wondering if there's any stories that just kind of like just stick out. It's like, this one time I was with da-da-da, or, I ran into this person. Just curious, I always love those type of stories.
I know, those are super funny stories. Right now, I can't think of anything that's like super funny. We've met a lot of different people behind the stage and different concerts that we performed at, and that we've been able to get like passes to get in the back and stuff. We actually one time Marlon Asher brought us to a Slightly Stupid concert, and then we went to the back like green room, and we smoked with all the Slightly Stupid dudes, like tough, like we were smoking hella dabs, hella backwoods. We had the shit so fucking hotboxed, and it was the first time we ever met any of the Slightly Stupid dudes, and they were being hella fucking cool. And then Marlon pulled Daniel out on stage, and Daniel got to do like a verse, and it was super sick. We just went to go support Marlon, and Asher's got a lot of love and stuff, and it was super fun. All those dudes were just cracking jokes, and the guitar dude was hella funny, I remember. Or one of the other guitar homies, and one of the saxophone dudes was cracking us up.
I remember one story that always sticks with me for life. Way back in the day, one of our very first concerts that we ever did out here in Ukiah, we had Reek Daddy. Reek Daddy and the Cuddies came out to perform at this one. It was super fun show, way back in the day, very beginning days. And somehow some of the other people that were performing at the show had gotten a fight with this other group of cats. And at the end of the show, we're out back of just smoking out, a whole crew of people hanging out around the cars. And out of nowhere, man, this whole rush of people come running around the corner. And they're coming to fuck shit up, and they're pissed at these other guys that I guess whooped this dude down. So they come around the corner throwing mad rocks. It was like a scene out of 300 where rocks were just showering down, hitting cars.
So many rocks, dude. Like, came from the railroad tracks and came up this little street. And it was insane. Like, Reek Daddy would tell the story to all the homies, too. It was so funny for him to tell the story always, too. And there was so many rocks, dude. Daniel's nice-ass...
My Mustang, I had a 5.0 Mustang. I had a nice paint job on it. I remember it got, like, 2 rocks. One hit the hood, one hit the side door, and put a nice ding in it. I think maybe someone else's window got broke.
Yeah, a couple other parts got hit.
One of our homies got hit actually in the face with one of the rocks. It kind of busted him a little bit. But soon, man, those rocks started showering. Everyone's like, holy shit, what the fuck's going on?
We started ducking behind cars.
Next thing you know, bow, you hear this fucking gunshot. Reek Daddy standing back there said, he was like, fuck this shit, I'll pull out my gun and fucking pop someone. And they fucking shot, everyone scattered. There was a couple people that started fighting off to the side when they were running up. But as soon as that gunshot went off, man, everyone scattered. Reek and them hopped in the whip, fucking dipped out of town so fast. And then the cops rolled up, and like we were all getting out of there. But
it was so crazy how fast and smart Reek was to get out of there as quick as he did too.
Yeah, because he would have got caught up in some shit real quick.
There's only one little street in the town where you have to get out to the freeway.
That's how it goes. Just one shot breaks the crowd up.
Yep.
Always. But why were they throwing rocks? Why were they throwing stones and stuff like that? Why did they do that?
They're just punks. They just came up.
They just pulled some bitch move, and a couple of their homies got beat up, so they came back with a whole posse and just decided to just shower rocks. And it was a crazy event. And I remember Reek even put it in a song like maybe a couple years later, he was talking about, I had to shoot my way up out of Ukiah. And we're just laughing because he's playing it to us in the studio. It's like, the whole time, we never told no one what really happened, you know, because everyone was pissed off. Like, we couldn't do shows for a little bit because word got around that some shit happened. So it was definitely a bad look for us. And this was before our cannabis culture days of, you know, doing the farm and stuff. It was more gangster rap when we first met with Reek Daddy.
Yeah, I know about being not allowed to do shows the second you do hip hop, like being banned from parks, banned from this clubs. You got to end up having extra police, extra security anytime a hip hop show. There's still and that kind of like that prejudice towards hip hop still lives to this day. I end up setting up like other events, even non-profit events that actually deal for just good money like that. The second's hip hop, yo, they add at least another extra 2 cops, which is already, you know, crazy as it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And, you know, that's what like is cool now that as we branch, you know, and especially playing with the live band more, you know, like we've been labeled as hip hop for a long time, and that has like held us back from certain shows. But I really feel like our music has transformed, and it's really not hip hop music. It's something new. You know, it's really cannabis culture music. It's a whole new strain. So, and we don't really you know, there's not a lot of profanity in our music. We don't ever like drop a bunch of cuss words. It's not negative. It's really positive, and I feel like it's definitely helping change. And as even with the weed legalization going on, it, you know, is opening up more doors for us to hopefully get music on more like soundtrack kind of stuff, TV shows. Like that's the kind of music we make. So we just got to keep at it and just try to break that chain of, you know, even though we've got a base kind of hip hop base for sure, you know, that's what we represent too, but it is something different and new, and it's not negative.
Like, you know hip hop history, you know that there's like the, you know, the more, you know, conscious rappers, there's the South rappers, West rappers, you know what I'm saying? There's now the rock stars, now, you know, like just the mumble rappers, all that stuff, whatever like that. And, you know, you guys are part of the cannabis culture music, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just another, you know, another offshoot of hip hop, yo. But you're right, yo. It's being labeled a hip hop group or artist like that. It does hold you back because of that stigma. It sucks. Yeah, it's really fucked up. Like, you know,
like you're saying, real good hip hop is like a lot different than rap. You know, people think that hip hop is rap most of the time. I think that over the time as we've gotten older, especially throughout a lot of years ago, we just realized like there's a huge difference of like rap music. That's like the stuff they push to you, the mumble rap stuff and all that. It's totally different than the KRS-One or like even like a Joyner, this kind of dude. It's something like that. It's way more hip hop. Like it's not a negative thing at all. It's the whole culture, and it's not promoting drugs or talking about bitches and all kinds of other crazy shit.
That's what I've always said about Daniel's writing. Is there's barely any. He hardly ever swears, and when he does swear, it's because he's trying to make a point. You know what I mean? Like I just noticed that it's very slim though. Like, but there are a lot of good points in all the, you know, all the songs, even the NOIB shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I want to hear about
back.
I want to hear about how you guys got in with Be Real and got into the hot box. How that was that, you know, what's the behind the scenes of that whole situation? How's that go?
That shit was super sick. That we were tagging him for a couple years, and the fans got us all in there. He said that he had an overwhelming amount of us, like the people tagging us and hitting him up saying to get us in the smoke box. So super sick to see like how much people reach people, you know what I mean, and how close everyone is, and how much what the fans can do in general. Really, it's nuts. So like we were able to go down there. We finally figured out which spot it is. We're like, there's no way this is the spot. We drove by a couple times and we're like, oh, I guess this is the spot then. It's really easy to get into. It's like, damn, Be Real's real chill over here. I guess he just feels real safe. It's like
nonchalant. You wouldn't even know he's there.
Yeah, like goddamn. We walk in there and he's already doing a smoke box, so we're like quiet. They tell us to be quiet. We look around the corner. It's like a big warehouse. He's got the car in the middle, then like a waiting room with couches and stuff. And we didn't even know who it was in the thing, but it was the Matt Barnes basketball player dude that was in there. And we don't watch sports that much at all, you know. So we're like, we didn't even know who it was. When he got out, we smoked with him for a little bit, and we said peace. We knew he was hella tall. He had to be doing some kind of sports for sure. But all of a sudden afterwards, like, oh, that Matt Barnes, that dude's hella cool. We see him all the time now doing all kinds of stuff, especially with cannabis stuff too. So that was a cool way to walk in there. It was like, damn, that's sick. And then Be Real left, did his thing, kind of got joints rolled up, I think, and handled some biz and came back out, and he was just super chill. Way chiller than we expected.
Yeah, it was legit. Like, he had mad love, and it was, you know, once again, it's just thanks to all the fans out there, because everyone, they really got us into there. You know, we were trying for a while, and that constant hitting them up, we got in there, and Puff tough, definitely.
Well,
yeah.
He saw the video of the birthday blunt.
That's also another thing, yeah. You know that they post different viral videos and stuff, and we have like a couple different videos on Instagram and Facebook of rolling the world's biggest backwood. And then he saw that and he shared it. And there's a couple people that shared that video that's had like 800,000, 500,000 views of different people, all kinds of. It's went big total on like random Facebook and Instagram shit on different big pages and stuff.
Yeah.
And he shared it, and then we were like, oh yeah, like it made more people tag too. And then they're like, oh yeah, we got to get you guys in here. It was like a perfect triple combo. It was funny how that worked out too.
Yeah. And yeah, it was pretty surreal sitting in the car for sure. As before we're starting, sitting there just kind of getting ready to light up, looking around at all the different cameras, like, oh wow, this is a trip. This is actually up here. This is about to happen. About to fire up, Be Real right here. And it was cool that we just like got to chop it up. And after that, we smoked even more. We just kept fucking firing up outside the car. We were all hung out. Like the homie E-Zone was there. He was rolling up some different stuff, trying flavors, and it was really cool to. After the interview, we got to show everyone some of the flavors, like the outdoor flowers that we had brought up, some of the tropical sleigh ride, and man, they were blown away. Like, holy shit, this is outdoor.
Yeah, Be-Real's science. That's hella sick.
Yeah, it was legit. Definitely props, you know, much love to Be Real for having us on there. That was super dope, and you know, because we've been listening to Cypress Hill, you know, since. Before we made music, you know, when we were kids back in the day, before we really even knew Cypress Hill, it was just like we were listening to it, and then we started catching on, bought a CD of theirs, and then fuck, man, it's so cool to see how the circle came around to get a chance to sit in there and chop it up with a real OG and someone who's been representing the cannabis culture for a long time.
Yeah, for sure. I ended up meeting him for Cannabis All Stars, the third one, at the Tetrahydro Club, and he was one of the judges, and I was like, you know, going with the kid. He was going through all the flower, yo. But so right before he ended up going through almost this whole thing. Right before he ended up getting on stage was like blitz out of his mind, yo. It was crazy, yo, how he just went through that shit. Like, wow, like it was impressive. Like he ran through that shit and then went on stage, did his thing, came back. Like it was pretty crazy, yo. He was pretty cool.
Yeah, that motherfucker can smoke for sure. There's a lot of people I see him always talking about who can outsmoke Be Real, and it's Snoop Dogg or whatever, and it's like Be Real probably can outsmoke most anyone, and he's smoking joints strictly. You know, it was cool too because we smoked a blunt with Be Real. He had some papers that they're trying to work out. Someone wanted him to have some kind of papers in his brand or something like that, and they're pretty nice. They're kind of like a front of some sort, you know, some kind of tobacco leaf, and they're pretty bomb, but it's like, yeah, dude, he can smoke so fat. And then we like, after seeing so much footage and so much concerts he's done, God, he's like on point with his bars, super on point. He's done so many concerts to hundreds of thousands of people. He's like, he could do that shit like nothing, like clockwork. It's crazy.
I remember hearing him talk to somebody on a podcast. It might have been Rogan, possibly. Or when Rogan was in the box with him, and he was saying he had to like kind of come up with that voice. Like,
yeah, I saw there's a big hip hop DVD that Ice-T made, where he interviews all the people. Like there's like 100 people he interviewed probably. Dude, he went through all hip hop stuff, and he interviewed Be Real, and he was talking about that on that DVD. He said he almost didn't make the cut. He had to figure out how to make that cut. change voice to do something, and it worked somehow crazy perfect.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that interview too. That's super trippy. Yeah, how that worked out.
And if you look at the Woodstocks that he's been to and the ICP concerts that he's done, like those, you watch the footage from them, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of people. It's crazy. Like,
On that Joe Rogan thing, he was getting interviewed. There was a little part where he was talking about it, and Joe Rogan was tripping out. It was like he performed to like 300,000 people at one concert or some shit. Like one of the biggest concerts that's probably ever going to happen in the world. I think B-Real's been performed at the whole Cypress Hill.
And hopefully, fingers crossed, when we were at the smoke box that we talked to him about coming out to the garden, and we were telling him all about the CD that we do live in the garden, recording out in the tree and everything. And he said he was down to do it. He said if time worked out that he would come up and record with us. So now it's just one day, hopefully, that it works out and their paths cross at the right time and we can make that happen.
well, you got to put it out there in the universe. I'm a big proposer of that. If you don't say it, it's not going to happen. So,
Yeah.
And usually the way things work between all three of us, it's been a little trippy in the past when we've said some shit and it's come true, a bunch of it. But yeah,
Exactly.
deja fucking vu. That'd be sick. And the whole Redman thing, when you gave Redman the CD that time, if B-Rail says anything about it, it might be a little bit of pull, like, hey, come do this,
Yeah. Right. It's funny that it's all it takes, like, these days for us, like a lot of people, but after we got into music tough, we realized you could reach anyone. It's just the amount of money, you know what I mean? And you can get homie hookups, and there's lots of times where, like, people do cool things, but it's so funny to see, like, if we had enough money, the album we could make would be ridiculous, dude. Ridiculous features. Oh, the dopest of the dopest. Old school dope, shit that people ain't really, that are sleeping on again, or people that are old school, not with the new times too, and shit like that. It would just be the rawest album.
You guys have traveled all over the country, right? Doing shows?
Yeah, we've hit a lot of spots for sure.
Yeah, not everywhere.
Still a lot to hit though.
Yep.
Well, pretty much every region.
Yeah, we hit the center. Yeah, we hit Texas and up, and Colorado and everything, and we hit the East Coast with you guys on Boston and Rhode Island. We want to go to Maine and to Florida here soon. We did a lot of West Coast stuff for sure.
Yeah, I've been out to Minnesota a couple times, and there's been talk about going back out there and doing some more stuff. And I know, like, this year, it's trippy how it worked out, because our plan was really to kind of sit back and not do so many shows and start working on the full band album, and then come out strong with some new stuff and just try to go crazy with the full band on some brand new material. And now, everything going on, it's making it hard for just us to get together in general, but hopefully, maybe, next year we'll be able to hit, like, cross country, do a whole bunch of stuff, and just come back out to see you guys again, rock out Boston and Rhode Island. Always super dope out there. It's been so much fun ever since when we did that birthday party, Bond. Like, that was super dope, just coming out for the first time, rocking just to a few homies, just something real small, backyard party style. That was super fun still.
sure was. Definitely was.
Yeah, this thing now, it's actually like this pause has, I think given everybody an opportunity to just really think about what they were planning to do this year and what is now, with a pause could possibly be, because we tend to run around so much that we miss a lot of, simple things where we can end up, fixing a lot of problems, or just, organizing a lot of issues through, like, some simple, like, adjustments and stuff. And, I know it's not the most convenient timing, or, definitely the reason for it, but, I think this gives everybody pause too, and that, gives us opportunities that we didn't have before. We normally do this podcast, just we like to get that kind of like back and forth. We like to be in the same room and actually really get that, you know, kind of like camaraderie together, to get like good conversation out of each other. So, you know, because of our schedules, you guys are on the West Coast, we're on the East Coast. It makes it, you know, that a little bit more extra challenging, not impossible, just extra challenging. But now, you know, look at us still able to continue to, you know, put out information, continue to, you know, bring on great guests as yourself on here, and, you know, even spread out some information that, you know, maybe all of us didn't know. I mean, I know dealing with the music industry is, it's pretty crazy to think about too now. With, of course, doing shows, right? And even still with the cannabis industry, how there's like events and conferences and competitions, and now the rethinking of the gathering of large crowds because of this thing. It affects more than what we're still heading, dealing with supplies. I mean, supply and demand and supply systems, and thinking about being essential and being non-essential between the medical and the recreational, or the alcohol or medical alcohol. It's a little bit like, you know, a lot of blurred lines, and this is going to end up making changing our system on a lot of different ends. Just kind of wondering what you guys thinking all about all that stuff too. Now thinking about potential tours now too, and or also just you know, conferences and shows dealing with your brand and stuff in the future.
I'd say, yeah. I mean, it's very weird how in the air it is. There's a lot of different shit that could really get messed up. The events in general, there's like events is where we could reach a lot of people, and we could do a straight sell to people too. You know what I mean? These days with the permits, we could skip the middleman at events. So all that stopping is stopping a lot of stuff. We had a lot of plans to do a lot of events this year with cannabis stuff, that everything's on hold. And now the talk of how scared people are about big events and everything that could change is, it's very scary for sure. And it sucks, even like having a circle of homies that you're smoking with and you're passing the big blunt around. It's like, if that changes, that sucks real bad. You know, that's real interesting. Like, cannabis has always been cool to have the circle. And now that's going to be, you know, pretty whack if everyone's scared to be like doing that kind of style. And it's
I was always down for everybody to have their own blunt.
I like it, but I also like the fact that weed is like everyone tries each other's shit. We all become.
Yeah. If especially, you know, like if it was us five.
Yeah, there's a fine line.
You know what I mean?
The brand of the not in the circle people for sure. But even within the circle people, everyone's scared even now of our own friends to smoke with each other. You know what I mean? We can't even trust our own fucking. Me and Daniel can barely trust each other to smoke together now. It's like, what the fuck's going on?
I'm surprised he doesn't have.
Who you been smoking with? Who you been smoking with? I have friends that they're like, yo, we made a pack, me, my boy, and nobody else. I'm like, oh shit, cause you got like a 3, cause it's like sometimes one guy isn't available. Like, fuck.
It's so different. It's
Right?
like,
Don't lie to me. I know you smoked with someone yesterday.
You've been cheating on it. I can see it in your eyes.
it's dirty, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely trippy. I mean, I guess besides that, just gotta, you know, play it by ear and just see how everything unfolds and what happens from this on, you know, and just kind of gotta work with it and just move with the punches.
I think that, you know, I think it'll get semi back to normal, but I think it'll be in the back of our minds. And when something like this is happening in the world, we'll be a little bit more attentive and be a little bit more social distancing, especially during flu season, cold and flu season, like really not smoking with people and really putting these things into effect. This is how also we can already manage, because if you think about it too, this ended up falling within the, you know, cold and flu season. So taking these, you know, these procedures, washing your hands, not really smoking with everybody, you know, towards these time of the years, relaxing, you know, kind of like that. And then other times, things will be a little bit more comfortable. So I think this will concentrate the events more, because I do end up doing events myself. So I know this is going to affect my, you know, my way of living and stuff too. But I think there'll still be a level of like consciousness about it. So we'll learn to live with it like we've learned to live with terrorism and school shootings. As sad as shit it is, just got to add pandemics to the list.
Yeah, I feel you. It's interesting with the music too, how online sales in general with music and streaming has just changed. There's no CD sales; it's very, very small, and in general for everything changing to that, it's like it's the future is already prepped. For computer life, staying in your own bubble, and it's like it's crazy how music has been changing like that, and it's like so easy to get. It's so online. It's just like stream. It's like everything's streamable now.
Yeah, it's trippy.
How bad do you think this is going to hurt the entertainment industry overall?
Well, it depends on how long it goes, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's affecting a lot of stuff, as is right now. Like, so much money got lost in the entertainment stuff. It's mind-blowing of how much stuff got instantly stopped, and it's kind of trippy, trippy to think about.
Think how much some of those movies hit in the box office that first week when they keep track of that shit. Oh, my God, dude.
All the different sports games, all these different things. It's like, holy shit, man, that's just a lot of money for sure.
Billions and billions of dollars, affecting tons and tons of businesses, affected everybody. It's the weirdest thing. You go outside, you don't hear no like roaring of the cars in the background of trucks. I mean, you hear like dead silence. Like it's one of the eeriest things you ever heard, in modern time anyway. Like it really is a trip. And I think it'll just it'll concentrate events. You'll see less concerts. So those few concerts will be valued that much more, in my opinion, to really get on some like good annual event, like right in the middle of July or something like that, end of July, where it's hot, so it's not cold and flu season, and just like bang out an event. I think that'll be more than something you end up seeing more towards the future.
Yeah, it makes sense.
For sure, yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
It's gonna be a weird ride, boys.
It sure is.
Do you think like a lot of the smaller like cable companies are going to get bought up because they can't survive this?
Cable? I don't know.
I'm not sure. Yeah,
it does seem like there's a lot of anything small. Half of that shit's probably wiped out. In any industry, if you're like a small business, you're fucked. So far, like half of the people are fucked for a good couple months to a couple years. I think you got all the businesses like just like Reggae on the River when it comes out here and does a festival. How much it makes? Like it's the whole year for those towns. You know what I mean? One concert, one festival. Some of these places that are big, and house like Madison Square Garden and shit like that. Like the biggest of the big. How much money does that place lose on workers and money around the town and shit? It's insane. That's gonna take a while. Yeah, those places always seem to be broke too. Like if they don't keep shit going, they're like under. Like look at the airlines. How are the airlines broke? They make so much money. They charge us so much money, but yet they don't have any extra money for one little thing. It's like 2 months of people not flying, and the whole shit's all the companies are broke. But where's all their money?
That's just them. They end up organizing it to that the profits go to the shareholders, and they try to bottom line, like, the fucking parts, the labor, everything to the cheapest bottom dollar to make sure that they can high profit shit.
That is insane.
Yeah, I heard Disney was like whining because they were losing like $6 million or something. It's like, bitch, you charge $140 a day.
Oh man, they're losing so much money, dude. I can't even imagine that too. $6 million an hour, probably, huh?
Well, like I said, it's gonna be a crazy ride, and we just gotta fucking buckle up and see what the fuck's gonna happen. So
it's just so nuts that it's a worldwide thing. It's so crazy that everyone has to go through it. That's the only good thing about it, is that everyone's fucked at the same time.
I know, that's what's weird.
If it was just on the West Coast or just in America or just whatever the hell it could be, that would suck.
So, you guys been working with Green Shock, doing Green Shock.
It's so funny. Mark's such a cool dude.
I know.
The plant whisperer.
He obviously has the tropical sleigh ride. You guys been working with it. I want to touch base on, because I've tried to tell East Coast of them about how he dries and all that. Like that whole thing. Like, you can explain it a little better because you're there and see it a lot more. But go into that, and this, what strains you guys have been messing with and making, and seeds you got going and whatever.
Pick it up, yeah, with Mark, we got so much stuff. Like, before we met Mark and before legalization changed, we were just doing the backyard gardens. The most we ever did was 25 at one spot. And as soon as we moved in with Mark at one of the properties that we teamed up with him, there's like 150 plants up there. It's the 10,000 square foot permit. It's like the most coolest garden ever, like on the top of this mountain, all hollowed out. The trees are all cut around it. So you got like just crazy, crazy climate, crazy environment, like so natural, so far away from everything. It's such a cool spot. And then he's also got another spot down the road from there. That's another really cool spot. It's all about nature. Everything's got plants growing everywhere, all kinds of native plants. There's all kinds of lizards and bugs and all kinds of just wildlife. Everything's going on together. It's a real cool setup. And with he's been working with a lot of strains, he's been breeding for 20-something years, almost 30 years now, and making his own stuff and growing. And the sleigh ride's one of the ones he's most known for. It's really fire. He's got a lot of different Emerald Cup awards with that stuff. This year we just got second place at the Emerald Cup with the Pog, which is a sleigh ride pheno, the Passion Orange Guava. And the first place was the Runts. That was a greenhouse too. So we had the highest full-term sun-grown. That was this year's cup. And that won Mark actually the Breeders' Cup too, because he bred his own strain. So that got him the highest place strain that wins whatever you bred, So that was really cool. Then also, like this year, we brought up a couple of our strains, like the Donkey Butter, the Four Kings, the Vanilla Kush, our Mendo Dope, Tropic Truffle. And then we pollinated a bunch of different stuff with the sleigh ride, different Long Valley Kush that he was working with this last year. We have all kinds of different new crosses that we made. We got our website going on the plantersoftheTrees.com, has everything flowing now. So we got like 15 different strains that are available for people. We got still another 20 strains for ourselves that we kept to kind of like R&D with and test. We have like 140 different mothers of like probably like 15 different sleigh ride phenos and different purple, like a purple candy cane and another candy peppermint sleigh ride and the Pog and all kinds of different stuff to choose from now. So we have like a real nice stable and a real nice thing where it's all our own strains and we're not really taking in any of these hype strains and any of this other stuff people are doing. We're trying to stay real focused on our own lines. It's been super fun. Mark's real cool. He really likes us. He lets us do our thing. We come up with all kinds of weird, crazy ideas. He always lets it ride. Like we did the season 3 up at that garden, and it was so cool to be like away from the house and away from any roads. And the whole CD actually was with solar power too. The whole property's on solar, so it was like such a cool experience to be up there. And after 2 years of working with him, it's like we're super brothers now. We love each other. We got all kinds of things planned for future stuff, and it's this third year right now is going to be real fun, and I'm super looking forward to it. Can't wait to see some of these new strains.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. I was telling Daniel the other day, I want to fucking get some stuff and mess around with it, try and find some phenos.
Yep. There's definitely going to be some winners in the mix. Super dope to be able to like work with like the vanilla kush that we've had in our stable for like,
I think the vanilla we've had for, I think, 8 years now, maybe 9 years. It's the longest mother that we've had.
it's a
Yeah.
And Bond, you've had the chance to run that one, and my God, you pulled out such fire with that vanilla. My goodness.
She actually dumps better than the Space Bomb. I think we figured that out a little bit. It's a little bit better, but
It was right there with it at least, or something.
yeah.
Man, and it was so beautiful looking. So to be able to bring that strain up and blend it with Mark's Tropical Sleigh Ride, which is a super high terpene strain, an award winner, such a beauty. It's going to be so cool to see these come together and blend and see what we get out of them. And this year is going to be, because we'll be able to do some cool pheno hunting with some of this stuff and find something really special.
That's the Spumoni Kush, right?
The Spumoni, yep.
Did you get the Spumoni?
He needs to get it. He's ready to get it. And East Coaster Dam, we got to figure out, if you want to
Pick which one you want.
Yeah, check out something. We'll send you guys like the seed menu so you can see what's all on there. If you guys want to, look at something that you are interested in, we'll definitely hook you guys up.
Yeah, if you guys want to pick a pack or two.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm real like the Tropic Truffle is exotic genetics. It's Tropicana cookies crossed to mint chocolate chip, and we crossed that with the sleigh ride. And that shit, I got high hopes for that, dude. Very high hopes. That strain's pretty badass. Exotic Mike was like, he said that was his favorite one from the mint chocolate chip lineup that he dropped. I think it was 2 years ago now. He had some of the mother of that Tropicana straight stuff or whatever at one of the cups. He smoked it with us. It was so fucking crazy loud. And I don't really like too much cookie stuff, but that one ain't really too cookie-ish. It's almost a more skittly or something. It's fucking really nice and probably real good hash strain too. So some of those phenos could be hash ones, but there's going to be like such a crazy tropical mix with that.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, anything that Mike and Mark could combine with would be obviously fire.
Fire.
Yeah, I mean they're both hella good breeders and they've been doing it for a long time. Yeah.
And stuff's never touched each other. It's like new to each other.
Right.
Yeah, those sound delicious. I'd definitely be down to run that for sure.
Gotta get the chocolate truffle. We call it trifle.
Trifle.
Trifle, yeah.
What have you been growing lately, East Coaster Dam?
I've been basically sticking with the Jamba Juice and the mint chocolate chip right now, but I've been running some Tropicana phenos, but they're not running out too well. They've been harming out at the end, so two phenos that I've run were awesome, but again harmed out.
Yeah.
Right now I got Bubble Yum, I got Cookie Pebbles going, I got the Space Bomb. What else do I got going? Blueberry Hash Plant.
Nice. That Jamba Juice shit was so fire. That's the stuff we had that you had that day.
Yeah, and I didn't even get to give you guys a really good batch of it, so it gets really, really loud when it's on its 8+ game.
Nice.
So I really love that shit.
Yeah, that was special. We missed the Space Bomb right now with that flavor.
I know it's been a while. I missed all your guys' fire out there. It's been days since we got to see everyone and just hang out.
I'll send it out. I told Mark he can work with it. I don't, whatever. I know that, you know what I mean? I just got to send it out for the 4th time.
It loves to travel cross country.
No, I think like that first year we like talked about it, but it wasn't like 100% with everything. But now it's for sure no problem. I think we got to do it. Get some seeds of that made. Get some seeds for everyone to have. Carry on Sub's name. Gets like something that we know is a hash strain that can up certain phenos. Yes, that'd be a badass strain. Fuck yeah.
So
You
Well,
good? You good, Bob?
Yeah, I'm good. I also, Pino, you can cut this if you want. You don't have to, but
Nah, this video shit's fun, yo. Keep going. This is how the show runs. We're all raw and cut. We just chilling.
I talked to Mike, Exotic Mike. I DM'd him, and I knew him, and he liked Sub, and Sub liked him. So I was like, hey, I have a special pheno bass bomb that I've won some awards with, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in, I'll send it to you, and you can fuck around with it, do whatever. I know it would definitely fucking do something. Maybe the strawberries and cream and the space bomb.
Yeah.
Or something,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Something like that. And he actually hit me back up. He was like, fuck yeah, I'm totally down. And he was supposed to come up probably around this time right now. He was supposed to be here.
Damn.
But obviously with everything going on, but
yeah, that's but that's on though. That's super sick. When we talked to Mike,
That was March 20th. That was that knee cam event that was supposed to happen, ended up canceling. I know because I was gonna end up actually have him stop by Gene Traders when knee cam ended up canceling and shit, yo. It had some crazy domino effect, like as far as like even dealing with all of us. It kind of like it's really making us rethink our distribution system and how we're getting our genetics back and forth, how we're getting our products back and forth and shit, yo. Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're right though. Sure. I mean, that's if he would have had the space bomb right now, he could have been playing with it. That strain would have came out faster. It's like that sucks.
I know it's super aggro, but whatever. At least I know it's in his memory bank, and hopefully we'll be able to do it down the line. But like I said, I'd also obviously want to have Mark and you guys take it and figure out something.
For sure.
I don't give a shit. To carry on that. That's more for me, is just to keep that carry on, because we're gonna me and Joe will have it I'll have it forever, and I'm sure Joe will probably keep it for a pretty long time. But yeah, just to carry it on, that the name.
Yep.
That strain,
Really
Cocoa
good.
Bar.
It's a really nice, solid one that you can stand behind for sure and 100% back. That no one can say nothing. That shit's unique as fuck. That's one of Sub's staples for sure. It sucks because we go through different times with our mothers where we have we don't have a lot of room. We have room. We have to kill stuff, and sometimes we kill things that we don't. That later on we're like, fuck,
we shouldn't have killed it.
But we always know, at least with the space bomb, we always knew that Bond could just send that shit again.
That's what Herb said. He's like, you could just send that again. I was like, I know. I'm not. It's cool. I know how it is. I've seen what it. I've seen shit go on over there. I know what it's like.
Yeah, it feels like a dick move almost, but it was the russet mites that 2 years ago when they came in. There's so much.
Oh yeah, I get it. You know that. There's no problem. That's what I just wanted to see it outdoor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and see what you guys could do with it.
Yeah, and
it did so nice, and it even with the kind of a rough start, man, it still fucking killed it, and the hash came out so nice too. It's definitely a winner, no doubt. Still a winner.
Joe, you got to go soon. Well,
yes, I do. So you guys can carry on, but I gotta take off for about 3 minutes.
Oh shit!
All right, yeah. No worries.
That was super dope being able to chop it up with you again, brother. It's been a while.
Yeah, guys.
You're doing good out there.
Can't wait to chill out again, and we could do this again anytime on this shit. This is fucking easy.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah,
do this for sure.
Right.
Definitely down. We can just keep it rocking for sure. Got much love.
So, well, I guess I can go now then. Jesus.
No, go when you want.
You guys are all looking at me.
Let's see if they can roll one before you.
All
Yeah,
right.
you're looking at me.
Let me ask like, one more time. I guess kind of go everybody go around and give what you think about this. Now, I've definitely noticed it that even with the same cut from the same mother, you're gonna honestly get different outcomes from different growers, right? Now, you guys are all talking about like keeping Space Bomb alive and how consistent like that, but I think I'm wondering. I'm not. I guess the question is, do you guys find the different consistencies and outcomes when you end up getting cuts given to other people, even with outdoors, or almost following like what you do to the letter, but still possibly changing. So I know I've seen some kind of the same thing over time, like the plant change its structure from possibly when I was cloning it. So I've noticed a change in over time with the same type of genetics, but that's just me.
Well, I think I can speak pretty well on that because I've given it and seen it in a few different environments, indoor, outdoor, my house, someone else's house, a couple other growers. Uh, when the guys grew it outdoor those couple years, I mean, it did exactly what I expected it to do, even with the couple little issues of outdoor shit. That's how it goes. Whatever that backside of that one plant that one year, I remember. You remember that, Bleezy? It was kind of like,
It was like
something was up.
some kind of probably like a root rot thing. You have to like one of the branches or two branches were sad. Yeah.
Yeah, but Joe just finished one, and that fucking it's the same as the same as when I grow it indoor. It did the same structure, same size buds, nice frost, bomb hash, smelled the same, tasted the same. So, I mean, that's my take on it.
I know that with like some of the different like clones or whatever, just that we have up here, like for example, like the Four Kings that we grew at our house, and then we had some of the clones up on the farm with Mark. Like they both did really well, but for some reason, the one at our house, like it just had a slightly different expression and a just different, slightly just it was nice at the house, and it was just a little different up on the farm where it's trippy to see different strains act differently in the different climates, elevations, and everything because they do definitely change and they put out different. Even like Mark had some different stuff tested that like had different terpene profiles, like from the same strain grown at a higher elevation, had like more of a certain terpene reflect out of it. It's super cool to see that for sure.
Yeah, it's funny because like the space bomb is that bitch is stable. Like that thing mostly does what you think it would do almost. You could see there's a difference of growers and there's like a drying difference or like if you weren't organic you'll tell it's gonna be probably like so dense, like out of control dense outside. Um, but it's like there's very subtle differences overall with most strains for sure. Space Bomb's one that is more stable than other ones almost. You'll see a difference for sure, and different outdoor climates and stuff. But it really is similar, I guess, in structure wise. Final bud and smoke, you'll tell who's the better grower sometimes for sure, and who did the best at the final stages.
Yeah, I was gonna say stability has a big part as far as like if you pass around a cut to different growers and you get pretty much the same outcome. A lot of that's on the genetics, like the stability of that. But yeah, like they just said, at the end of the day, there's those subtle differences that you can pick out. But the stronger the stronger genetics that you pass along to your friends that everyone grows out, it should all come back pretty uniform. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
but it's those little things: the outdoor, the indoor, the altitude, the water, the nutrients, what you're using, all that little stuff. Those are the little subtleties that I think you find, and the drying differences and all the stuff, everything, all those factors are the little tweaks. But
Yeah, that's what makes everyone's stuff's a little different. Yeah, and it's cool to show each other our stuff because every little thing can be different. And even we're our hardest judges. I know that Eastern Coast, I know you always seem like you're hard on yourself with your weed too. Every time I see it, it's fire, and you're always like it's bomb as fuck. But I know this, I know that. You're like you know exactly what's going on with the plant, and you know like how to get it to its perfect potential. And they're like you have a lot of fire all the time in general too.
No, thanks. Like we're all like that though. I mean, all of us that grow good weed are all pretty much hard on ourselves. I mean, that's how I see everyone.
It is. It's very true. It's like our kids and shit.
Yeah. I mean, you got to judge yourself tough, otherwise you're just, you're floating through a make-believe land. So.
Hell yeah.
But on that, guys, it was good to chill, and if you guys want to do this again, I'm always down. So.
Hell yeah, brother.
Appreciate the time, yo. Bonds, Lou. Have fun, guys. Enjoy.
Hell yeah, brother. Stay safe out there.
You too, guys. Peace.
Later. Good night.
Beep, beep, beep.
Can still hear you? Yeah.
Still alive.
Word.
Cool. So for the people that are only listening this on iTunes or on the website and can't see us, East Coast Saddam had to go do some important hunting out in the world. There's something that I've been like really, thinking about too when it comes to continuing a line or passing on a line to somebody else, the stability of it, and no matter what that next person might change within, my environment or my, my growing, that it still continued to go on. Something that, I really try to look for when I'm like finding just moms in general, or something that, I feel that needs to be really taken, consideration. So I've had a theory that in certain parts of the world that you can only end up getting like specific type of, terpene profiles or specific type of cannabinoids like the B's and the P's towards the THCs or the CBDs, and like in the Congos, and it seems that ends up having to deal with also to the elevation and of course the environment, as you guys just mentioned, like you take the same one and it pulled a totally different type of terpene up in the mountain than it did down in the valley, as you're saying. So I'm wondering if you guys have heard that from other people as well.
I haven't heard enough of it for sure. There's there's got to be a big difference in certain countries of terpene. The thing that's hard though too is like that every test person's different. You'll see like different companies have different levels of terps. It's very confusing. It would be so hard to do, but it'd be so cool to see different strains or the same strain grown in different parts of the world, and then have that official test from one lab.
Yeah, test it at the same spot to know you're getting the same results at least, even if it's not varying through different test companies. But that would be super cool to see someone put that experiment together of growing like a space bomb over here and then growing a space bomb out in the Congo or something. It'd be like, oh shit, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, we proved it with I guess maybe terpene content just with outdoor versus indoor. When we had the space bomb tested, what was it, the fourth highest?
Yeah.
And that was only the 45, remember?
Yeah, we did the lower grade stuff, that first year.
So, and I've had the space bomb tested indoor, and it was nowhere near that high. But it was high for indoor, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. It's always been it was funny. I think how funny it was in the beginning when we didn't want to do the buds. Remember how hard it was for us to get you to wash buds?
Oh my God, we were so against it at the beginning. What are you doing to our buds?
We making hash, and we made hash for so long, just regular bucket, old school, real like nothing
Trim,
special hash, all
tiny buds,
always shake, never big buds, never tops. Bond was the first one to get us to bust that, and then we start realizing, holy shit, with the right strain, we're doubling up over here. What the fuck are we doing?
That's why I was saying before, if the legalization shit wasn't the way it was, we were just about to fucking, like I said, do what everybody else was doing.
Yeah,
But it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do think that there's so many possibilities that are going to still be opening up in the future if we just stay on our game. Both of us on both the sides of the game, and then we're going to be able to come together again. I feel like guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna work out again, no doubt.
Definitely. I'm excited about the whole industry in general. I'm excited about. Yeah, I'm actually. I'm really. I've been paying like big attention on how, the industry has reacted during all this. And uh, really seeing how how it's all really starting to pan out. And what is also pointing out some weak points with all this too. That if something like this happened again, we all know the ones that end up being able to stay in business are the delivery services,
Yeah,
not retail shops, right? So now we know, all right, well, is a good if you have a retail shop, it's really good to probably invest in a delivery service just in case, or just to do a delivery service in general and just try to be, I don't know, essential proof, not essential proof or whatever.
it's very smart to have the delivery thing. It's the more you keep to your keep away from the circle, the better. If you can kind of people that are like vertically integrated and stuff. That's an insane upper hand they have to have the farm license, distribution license, and the retail store. That's killing it right there.
Yeah, I mean,
And transportation too, right?
Yeah, with the distribution, most of the time it comes with transportation stuff, and then with the retail, you could get that delivery, so you'd be fucking full circle.
But can you get just like the transportation and delivery only, not deal with the retail shop or the distribution?
You'd still have to have distribution to be the ones to do that.
All right, word. Yeah, I'm always
middleman.
because up here they give you that. So like in Mass, there's a lot of options between just having like the micro license, just specifically for like distribution or just transportation and delivery, and so uh, just seeing how everything ends up being working out, depending on like worst case scenarios. Never in the world would any of us think that this would be one of the worst case scenarios we would have to start planning for, but here it is.
Yeah, isn't it crazy looking at some of the movies though that have called it before, like the Contagion movie, or Bird Box is a little out of hand, but Bird Box is pretty crazy. What's the other one?
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates is pretty crazy.
The old school one, the Outbreak.
Outbreak's crazy.
Yeah, Outbreak. Outbreak's very similar.
They're very similar. They're based on real stuff, and that's some crazy shit. Like people have been waiting for this to happen for sure.
Well, that
certain people, yeah.
Well, that the number one thing that they have to do, right? Once something like this ends up being, is that they immediately have to stop all international flights. Not some here, yes, some here, no. Like shut. That's what ends up stopping the global spread. That's why because we're able to travel much faster between cars, trains, especially the planes. That's what becomes making it more global, more international, more national, more interstate. Since they were only slowly doing it, it was just slowly, a little bit by little bit, people were just sneaking in there.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it. That's and we've seen movies about this, shows about this. It's crazy how it feels fake, but it's real.
It's so crazy how real it is. It doesn't seem real, still kind of, but super real.
Well, I've been hearing good things about coming out of New York from the governor there. He's always on fucking TV.
Yeah, he's the main man now.
Yeah, he's been saying they're seeing, they saw a spike in deaths, but they're seeing a drop in incoming patients.
Yeah.
And getting tested for it.
Yeah.
I've been hearing kind of the opposite. They're like my cousin's a lieutenant paramedic in the FDNY, so he's like there, and he's saying that the news and the governor are not saying a lot of stuff that really is going down. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, he's like freaking out about a lot of stuff. They just ultimately the biggest problem with it all is that besides their normal volume of calls when it comes to New York City, right? They have all this on top of it as well, and have put so much pressure on the system that they're running out of everything. My sister had like sewn him a whole bunch of masks. He's a fucking lieutenant at the FDNY, and my sister in Connecticut had to sew him masks to like mail him over there because they're running out of equipment, because they're just non-stop working because it's like this and a pandemic. So they just weren't prepared. The system wasn't prepared for this type of like influx of like push towards it,
Yeah,
but like they're trying to calm it down by now stopping the media from yelling fire responsible for everybody freaking out to begin with. So now they're trying to, all right, let's not give all the numbers now. Let's kind of keep it down a little bit. I mean, not CNN though. CNN still got that shit like a clock, like a little like, 20,000 deaths.
Yeah, it's definitely all trippy, man. Like you said, it doesn't seem real, but it is, I guess. I mean, I know there's people dying. To me, it feels like, I don't know, I'll probably catch shit for this, but it feels like there's something else, and that something else might be just Mother Nature, just like picking out, weeding us out and trying to fix herself. I don't know. Fucking weird.
That was that Mark Wahlberg movie. Fuck. That nature was just like making the humans act stupid and jump off buildings and all that shit. Like they were killing themselves or killing each other. Damn, what the hell movie that? That was a movie. That was like a whole movie about it, which is actually pretty interesting that you're saying that, because I think it's possible. I do.
I mean, I guess anything's possible, and that's why no one really knows. Can you believe the news? Can you believe China? Can you believe this number? Can you believe that number? I mean, and it's messed up because like he's got family that's in it right now. I have some friends that are, nurses and doctors. One's in Boston. One's actually East Coast Dam's wife. And, she says it's not too crazy where we are. But in Boston, my other friend, my wife's friend, she says that, same thing. We don't have masks. The shortage of supplies, which makes me think somebody had to have known that. And I mean, who did the TED Talk in 2010 and said, if something's going to kill 10 million people, it's not going to be war. It's going to be a fucking virus. Verbatim, he said it. So, I mean, did he know?
He knew. That motherfucker's so far ahead. He knew. And it's like, what's crazy is like we don't know because we don't study that shit. Even though we look at a lot of things, especially you're smart with a lot of random fucking facts and shit. You know what I mean? But people that do study this and people that have been studying the COVID before it was 19, like different strains of corona, it's been out for a long time. They knew this was going to happen. You know what I mean? And so like people like Bill Gates that is in the know and he's paying people around the world. He's got so much information coming from the smartest people. He's trying to tell motherfuckers that no one wanted to listen, huh?
Something.
Because he knew that we have so much bullets, we got so much helicopters and planes, we got shit for respirators and masks and gloves. It's like, what the fuck?
No.
If we would have just had like a double stack on that, it would have really not been the worst. because it's like it's fucked up. But the major thing is, yeah, that they're not prepared and they're trying to slow it down so that it's not overwhelming. But if they would have just had double the stock of equipment, they would have been able to fly through people. Like I saw something online about, I think, Korea or some crazy place. They flew through people. They got barely any problems because they tested everyone so fast. They had everything on lock.
So this is the thing that gets me. This is a brand new virus. Whatever. It's not brand new, but so the new strain. Call it that. What tests do we have for a new strain? We're using tests that are for what? The flu? Are those the tests we're using? Or did they magically come up with a new test for a new virus? Like,
it's like the chicken and egg kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. And all of a sudden there's millions of them. and Harvey Weinstein can get one? Dude who just got put to jail for fucking crazy shit? Like, how does he get, like, because he's got money? But this is the thing, is it even a test? Where's this test? You know what I mean? Where'd it come from? That's what bugs me out. Like, all these people, the number of people that have it throughout the world, whatever it is, 1 million something.
Yeah.
There was 1 million something of those tests? Where'd they come from? I don't get it.
What's crazy is that the president doesn't even, like, he hasn't been taking any kind of, like, social distancing, like, procedures out. He's always in a room full of people. Always talking. He's always standing next to somebody. He's always like, he's always like doing everything he's not supposed to. He's telling everybody else to do. Like, all the governors, you see them like mass distancing. Like, you see like this weird shot, like one person, like 3 people, like a huge desk. Like, it's some of the wildest shit. But except for Trump. Trump's like, everybody get together. Come here.
It's because we're supposed to know that they're in the White House and it's fucking safe. You know, all those people are.
What they're telling us is true, right? He is completely doing the opposite. Allowing a whole bunch of strangers that they don't know where the fuck they've been all day, doing all kinds of shit, smoking with whoever the fuck, and then coming back to the White House. Come on.
Yeah, you don't get into the White House that easy, though. You know that.
Reporters come in and out, bro.
Yeah, they ain't. I bet they ain't leaving right now.
Talk to
They're stuck there.
He loves talking to the reporters. I think one of them asked is like, "Why aren't you wearing a mask? Are you gonna wear a mask?" Talking to us and stuff.
Slobber on us.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like someone new, man. Like, there's a lot of things that are wrong with it that I could go into, but it's like it's all speculation. Just like Rogan says, no one fucking knows. Nobody fucking knows. If this is real, this is new. I'm a monkey. I don't fucking know nothing about
it. Yeah, it is. It's like, it's crazy that just no one can tell. There's no one that is telling the truth, or no one that you could listen to. Like, not one. It sucks that there can't be one like big news. Like, only one thing that we know is true, you know, and everyone else we just know is saying what they want to say. But there's like, we don't know who the fuck to listen to.
Yeah. Sketchy.
Damn. 2020. We don't know who to listen to. Fuck me. It's like, what do you think about the future? I'm like, we don't know who the fuck is real. It's just like this shit is fucked up. Like,
yeah, you got lucky, kind of, huh? Right, fucking buy a house right before everything fucking hit.
I think it was like the last week before they started like halting a bunch of shit, and then they like really triple, quadruple checking motherfuckers too. That they don't want to give you money for nothing no more.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the interest rate, it was like a 3 point something. It was super low. Like
yeah, they went down a lot.
Yeah, it was like right at its lowest peak before everything happened too. So I think it seemed like perfect timing.
Well, that's awesome.
It's trippy. It's been so trippy. The move in it was like a week before it kind of like got to quarantine mode. Um, and Dre still works. You know, she's at the dental office doing like emergency surgeries and stuff. Like even the regular dental people are closed, but not the surgeon people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
that's a plus.
it's a plus, but it's also it's a you know dental stuff's pretty crazy already, and then you think like for this, Europe with the mouth in general, that mouth or whoever's mouth wide open, getting worked on, sits flying. That's like probably the worst thing you can do. Worse than even a normal doctor.
Yeah, 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 right up in the grill.
Oh man, they're trying to keep it safe. They've been running out of shit too, like crazy, and they just got some new masks, and everyone has to change their procedures and go a little bit not as sterile. You know what I mean, and just work with what you got. And
Yeah, I mean they're the real, all of them, the dentists, the frontline doctors, all the cops, they're the true heroes. Really, they don't have a choice, kind of.
no, yeah, they signed up for it, and it's an intense job, and it's like while we have to stay at home, or like while we do our thing, what like especially as growers and smokers, or like how we are in the cannabis community so much, the effect isn't nearly as deep as it is for someone like that. Holy shit, they're just like overworked, going crazy. So many of them getting sick when they don't really have to. They're just trying to help everyone. It's intense, dude. Super, super shout out to all those savages. I give it props. I don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
There's a class too that people that I think needs to get a little bit more shout out too. Ends up being the sanitation people.
Hell yeah.
That while we're making sure that they're going there, that they actually end up cleaning. And I have always said one of the most dangerous jobs in the world ends up being the garbage man. Literally, because they end up dealing with all of our garbage, all of our bullshit, all of our spit, all the shit that we throw out. Literally, sometimes even shit, actual shit.
Yeah.
Always
Man
there's
has to
always
deal.
shit. There's always
Like
shit in the
it's
garbage.
Yeah.
baby diapers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, everything. Yeah.
It's no
So,
joke. That's an insane job.
the most dangerous job in the planet, in my opinion, and I think they really need to be shouted out these days too, because I mean, they're still out there they're considered essential, man. They're out there cleaning, they're out, all this message. They're out there disinfecting everything so we can get back to our lives and shit. So,
Oh, that's I'm gonna have to put that out shout them out on Instagram and some shit too, because I didn't even think about that. Those dudes are the savages too, for sure.
Yeah.
I know one actually. He works right over, right south of Boston, in Brockton, and he come home one day and he's like, "Hey, look what I found on the fucking side of the road." While I was grabbing someone's trash, it was a fucking big bag of fucking pretty bomb weed. It was just chilling next to the trash. He's like, I couldn't believe it. He's like, am I looking? And he's like, when I grabbed it, I was like, I gotta give this to Jay.
Nice.
that's pretty fire. Hell yeah.
But imagine all the needles, all just like,
It's insane.
yeah.
Jeez.
I
Yeah.
don't even know what to say about it. I really don't. Like, it
Oh.
runs through my head, and you're like,
It's not bullets. It's not cops. It's not like that. They could end up getting sick for some weird shit we didn't even hear about. Just him and that one person dying about it. Like I mean, there's nothing you can do to like, fight that except, but even still, do you see like the trash man like in a hazmat suit? Like, throwing the trash out? No, he's got probably some gloves and he's out there, his shit's all dirty. He's going to the next fucking house. Keep it moving.
the only thing I can say that's kind of positive, I guess, coming into this whole thing, now that I'm thinking about it, is if you think about
they don't really talk about the amount of people that have come, survived it already. And with that comes antibodies for a vaccine. I'm not really into vaccines, but I mean, what would you guys do if they said, "Here's a vaccine, you'll never get sick again"? Would you take it?
That's an interesting question.
Our mom would make us.
I can see that.
Fine, you guys better get yours.
I can see that. I'll give it to mom though.
Mom,
That's good.
I talk about that stuff every once in a while. She'll shut it down, dude. She don't believe none of that internet shit.
But Jinx, he says it too. You know what I mean? With you know what I mean?
That's too.
Yeah. So it's like
Some of the stuff.
when you see the parents that have gone through it,
Yeah.
it's like there's something there. I don't know what it is, but
Wow.
it's not for everybody, I guess. But how do you know that?
Yeah, I don't know, but I did see some things that tripped me out. I told her about it, and she didn't want to hear none of it. Didn't believe it.
Yeah, it's some trippy shit to think about. It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I would take it. I just don't like. I've always been that way. I don't like things going in me. Nope.
You think that if it did that good, that they want to get mad at you for not taking it, because then you're just going to get yourself sick, right? But that's what they're always weird about. You're going to be the one to do it. You're going to fuck us all up. Like, I thought you got the shit. Why are you tripping on me?
Exactly. That's what I would say. I would be like, "You're good. Did you get it? Okay, you're good. You don't have to worry about me if I get it. If I get it and die, I get it and die.
Yeah.
Fuck it. It's on me. You know what I mean?"
That's how it would make sense.
But that's the positive side that I see is that right there, where there's gonna be a shit ton of people that are gonna be like, "Fuck you, no way, you ain't fucking putting anything in me."
Oh, yeah, so many people.
But then there'll be like people lining up. I mean, I've said this before to a couple friends. We've seen it with our parents. They all got the tuberculosis shot. Most of our parents have that little ring on their fucking arm. Some of our parents don't, but there is no tuberculosis anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like, when you think of it that way, there's a whole generation of people that have survived the vaccine.
Yeah. The shit supposedly works.
Right.
So I always ended up looking like, because I think that there's certain vaccines that I think we do need, right? Like that we know have worked because they've been around for so long, and we know that they work because they've been around for so long. Like measles, vaccine, right? We know that we need to take that one because it works, because it's been around for such a long time. And if you don't like that, now they have little pockets of measles outbreaks because they stopped taking it, even though we know that it works. But I'm real skeptical of those ones that they say the new flu came out, so we got the new shot for that. It's like there's no way that you're gonna have like a new type of shit in 1 year, and you're gonna trust it to be injecting people. That's the part that I'm not for, and I never have been though.
Yeah, that sounds real scary.
Whoops.
But
My
yeah,
bad.
I want to live, with some real positive, towards these conversations, and thinking too that a lot, and I think we brought it up already a few times, and I can't say it enough. America works too hard, and I think we needed some time off. I'm not saying we needed all of this time off, but I think we needed some time off to just do nothing. Sit at home, sit with kids, sit with, people, sit with loved ones, rethink ourselves too. And even still, damn, I'm really eager to go back to a job that I really don't like. Maybe this is my time to look for something else too. To really reassess. Like you might be making money, but you're not happy. Like let's reassess things. Like give you that time. Also, too, give the environment a fucking break. No, the smog. I hear that LA's got like wild clean air now or some shit. Something I don't know. I'm like hearing like these weird, like water's clearing up. They're looking at like one of the Great Lakes. Like there's like you can see the water's clearing up, so you can see like shipwrecks underneath. Like it's wild the stuff that you're actually starting to see because of everybody just staying still for this amount of time.
Very good for the planet.
Yeah, it's needed to just slow down and chill out for a bit because everyone's always moving so fast, just go, go, go all the time. Now everyone can just take a breath and just sit back and rethink some stuff, figure out the plan for the future.
Yeah, it's a good point for sure.
Yeah, it's what makes sense too when you look at it in a positive way. That those are things that are happening. So
yeah,
like I said, Mother Nature just doing her thing.
Cleaning up.
We're losing people, but when you look at the percentage of people to how many people there are in the world, I mean, it sucks to say, any loss of life sucks, but
there's gonna be.
It's gonna be for the benefit of of people, I guess, in the long run.
Yeah, shit comes and goes for sure. It's the only way that things push on. It makes sense for sure.
Well, we're let everybody know that you can find your stuff. Where you at?
Yes, sir. We're on Mendo Dope Boys on Instagram. You can catch us on there. We're always doing some giveaway games, some promo stuff. You can check out all of our merchandise and music on MendoDopeMusic.com and also MendoDopeFarms.com. You can check out like where our flowers are located at, some of the different store locations and upcoming stuff. YouTube is a good spot to find all of our grow videos, grow tutorials, updates. This year we'll be doing some cool updates at Green Shock Farms. So we're definitely looking forward to the season kicking off and getting back up in the mountains and just growing some more fucking fire and pheno hunting some of these new strains.
Yeah, if there's one thing that we know we have to do is grow weed and more weed. Really, just the more weed we could grow, the better. Right now, just stay focused and get more weed out to the people.
Fuck yeah, it's always a good point.
Hell yeah, man! I really appreciate you guys coming on the show. It's been a blast hearing you guys' story and stuff too, man. I can't wait to we're able to actually get together at a festival because it's gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen and it's gonna be great. A lot of session, a lot of just how's everybody doing? It's gonna feel great after something like this. It's in our nature. It's in our nature to get together. It's in our nature to make music together. It's just in our nature to just be around with each other. And I believe that it's just a matter of time, and we will do that again. So, really appreciate you guys for taking the time out. And I know we're going to do this again, too, in all at the same time, be a different experience. We're passing up a lot of blunts back and forth and shit.
We definitely appreciate you guys having us on. Much love to you guys, and keep on doing it. Keep spreading this good message out there, and we definitely look forward to coming back on with you guys. And just stay safe out there and keep it chill.
Fuck yeah! Thanks, guys. Anytime. You know it,
brother.
And we'll definitely be sending you guys over the list of genetics so you guys can pick out some, and we'll definitely get some stuff out to you guys to start working with.
What'd you say it was? MendoDopeFarms.com?
MendoDopeFarms.com.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you, fellas. This has been another session. Really appreciate you guys. Yeah.
We appreciate you guys, and thanks to everyone out there listening. Our new album, Roaches and Candy Wrappers, drops on 4/20. You can check it out Spotify, Pandora, MendoDopeMusic.com. Woo!
That's the Illuminati shit. We gotta stop.
End of session. The Joint Committee thanks you for listening.